In this video, I'm going to review an LED message center that you can mount in the back of your car to send messages to the dimwits behind you that don't have their lights on and it's dark. Check this out. This electronic message board would be perfect for getting the message out to those people that need some education. You know, the ones that forget to turn on their taillights. And it might not be a problem in countries where mandatory daytime running lights are not required as they are in Canada. But in Canada, all the cars, your headlights come on as soon as you start the car, but your taillights don't necessarily come on. Now, on most vehicles, you know that your taillights aren't on because your dash is dark. But on some vehicles, well, the dash is lit up bright as day, the speedometer is lit up bright as day, and they're driving around at night with no taillights. And as you can see, some people just don't get the message. Blinking your lights behind them doesn't seem to give them the message, but I think this might just do the job. So I picked this little unit up, and it arrived in the mail. No worse for wear. It was all taped up and wrapped up. Let's take a look at it. This should be what it is it's a 12-volt message board that you can put in your back window and sends messages to the person behind you. It doesn't necessarily have to be used in a car. I'm sure you could use it for advertising as well. I actually have a regular AC powered unit that I use for advertising for my video company. It's a little bit bigger than this, and I've had it for years. It's just in my window at the house that I use to advertise my video production business. But this has got a remote control. Even comes with batteries. Comes with some self-adhesive double-sided tape. We're gonna hook this thing up and just see what it does. And it comes also with, see, it's got a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug built in. So this one is designed for in-car use, and it features a remote control infrared sensor on the back. So this is in your back window. This is facing back towards the driver so that you can just pick up your remote control and send one of your pre-programmed messages. The message I'm going to put on here is turn on your lights. And I can think of more colorful things to put on it, but I think turn on your lights is what I'm going to program into this thing. So let me just find a power supply. I have one here actually. We'll get the power supply programmed up to the right voltage, and I'm going to explore how to program this thing and test it out, and then we're going to go put it in the car and see how great it looks. And then, well, I guess we have to do a follow-up video to see if it gets people the message. But I think a message telling them that their lights aren't on is probably a little bit better than sitting behind them and flashing your lights at them. Because my car being a modern car, I can't turn my lights out. Back in the old days, if someone didn't have their lights on, you just kind of turn your lights out and back on a couple times, and that generally got the message. Modern cars, such as mine, I have automatic lights. They come on as soon as it starts to get dark. And there's no way I can turn them off while the car is in gear. So I'm left with blinking my high beams at them, and it is apparent that nobody seems to know that when someone behind you is blinking their high beams at them, that maybe they should check their own lights. They just think that you want them to go faster or you want them to pull over. So I think in this case, if I blink my lights at somebody and they pull over and they get in behind me, I can turn on the sign and say, "Turn on the lights, you idiot. You got no tail lights." Anyway, let's hook this thing up and play around with it. I'm curious what this thing's going to do as soon as I apply power to it. So I've got my power supply turned on, and I'll just clip the 12-volt lead on and see that it lights up. Say it with Messenger. And of course, it doesn't have to be used in a car. You could use this for advertising too. You just need to power it with a 12-volt adapter. So let me get the manual out here. We'll load some batteries in this remote control and get with programming it. I'm sure this is going to be a little easier to program than the one I already have. The one I've got needs to be programmed from a computer, and it can only be programmed by a computer running Windows XP. It cannot be programmed from Windows 7. The software won't run under Windows 7. So I have to maintain an old computer with Windows XP just so I can run the software to program my other message board. So to edit a message and store it, I'm going to press the edit button, and that'll bring up the current message. And then I want to delete that message, so I'm going to, it says to display text, press erase, or to clear the entire message, press the down button. So I'm going to delete that. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to enter code number 53, which is your lights aren't working. I'm going to press library button, and I'm going to enter 53. And if I press the play button, it will display your lights aren't working. I'm going to store that into memory number 1, and then store memory 0, M0. Now when I press M0, it will display your lights aren't working. I know you guys probably are wondering, well, what happens? What's stopping you from using bad words? Well, it won't let you program in bad words. If you try to put in bad words, it will be displayed as a bunch of stars. It has a built-in filter. So you can't drop the F-bomb on somebody. And you probably can't call them an A-bomb either. I'm just looking to see how to how to erase the messages. I don't want this banner message. There is a built-in, this is the built-in banner message. So I should be able to wipe that message out. Okay, I think the way to get rid of the banner message on this is I'm going to press edit, banner, and then I've already done it. See, edit banner and then down will wipe it, and then if you want to just save a blank message, then store followed by banner. And now it won't display anything. When you turn it on, it'll just do that, and it won't display a message. I press the banner button. I want to edit it. I hit edit. There we go. And now I'm in the banner. I'm editing the banner, and I can say I don't want that one. I want to have a capital. So I'm just going to hit the erase button. Shift. Have a nice day. I'm going to put in here. Have a nice day. Now I'll put in 12-volt vids. How's that? No, I'll just put it. I'm just going to erase this many, but have a nice day. Now if I want to put it in lowercase, I'm just going to back up one, and I'm going to hit the shift key. I'm putting 2 spaces in here just to see what happens. And I want to store this, so I'm going to hit play. Have a nice day. I'm going to say store banner. Now when the unit is powered up, it should play that message. Okay, and it will do that automatically. If I don't delete that, it's just going to repeat that banner message over and over. So that's your main message. If you were using this as an advertising sign, you could have it repeatedly play your message over and over. You've still got your 10 hot messages, so if you tap a key, you can store or recall your pre-programmed or your custom messages, but after they've displayed, it's going to go back to the banner message. after several seconds. So to delete the banner message, because if you've got this mounted in your car and you only want it for the purpose of sending somebody a message, like for example, I could put in the frequency that I monitor on my ham radio, and if I see that there's a ham behind me, I could hit a button and it would display my call sign. Well, they know my call sign because it's on my my license plate, but I could put in there that I monitor VE7RPT, for example, or the frequency I monitor. And that way if someone wanted to call me, they would know what frequency my radio is on. I want to delete the banner, or I could have that frequency just programmed in, going by, you know, all the time if I wanted to advertise. But to delete the banner, while the banner is displaying, I hit edit, and I hit the down arrow button, and I'm going to hit store, and then hit banner. And now it's gone. So when you display a message, once the message is done, it won't go back and display anything. It'll just sit there like that, waiting for the next message. And you have your 10 pre-programmed messages that you can send to the idiot behind you. Like, dim your lights, or something else, or back off. That's a good one, when you get somebody tailgating you. Actually, they've got a message for that. What does it say here? They got some pre-programmed ones here. Like, if I hit, I think it's 17, library 17, they got some cute messages in here to begin with. Okay, let's open this thing up, see what's inside it. There's also a light on the back here. When you display a message, if you can see it in your rear view mirror, you'll see the light blinking while the message is displaying. Right, as the message is displaying, that light will blink and then it goes out. So if you can see this in the back of your car, like in your mirror for example, you're able to tell that the thing's actually sending a message. Okay, there's the unit apart. Not much to it. Okay, you've got your infrared receiver down here and the LED, and here's the board itself. Now I've got a couple transistors, 7 transistors here to drive it, some ICs. There's not much to it. This is going to be the other side of this, is just the matrix. If you want to see what that looks like, I'm sure that I can lift this out here, show you guys what the matrix looks like. Okay, there it is. Just standard SMD dot matrix display. Nothing to it. Simple stuff. I can put it back together, and we'll put this thing in the car and put it to service. So here's a processor in this thing. It's made by a company called STC. It's a 10F08XE. That's the main processor, it looks like. When we look at some of the other chips on here, these are going to be the driver chips, I'm sure. Construction wise, this thing looks fine. I don't see, looking at it with the microscope here, as you guys are seeing, I don't see any faults in the construction. Everything looks to be well done. Crystal, a couple capacitors here. The 74HC59 or 595. These are all the same, I believe. 74HC 595D. These are going to be the drivers, right? These are going to be the drivers for it. Let's take a look at that regulator. Some beefy solder here. They just soldered the regulator right down to the board itself. Some hot snot here to hold the connector together, but nothing else that's really of interest here. Just some transistors soldered down to the board. Looks okay. Looks like a plated through board. Anyway, that's the anyway, that's pretty much it. There's not a heck of a lot to this thing. As I say, they're really quite inexpensive because there's not a lot in them, but it will do the job. The one that I've got, my other one that I've got that I program with the computer, is a little more complex. This one here, all the messages just scroll across the screen. Although it says you can do different things with them. I'm just going to read the manual. You can change the speed and stuff, but I don't think it'll have wipes or other types of transitions. My other unit that I have for my advertising, I can have messages either scroll, and I can change the font, and I can basically download any font from my PC onto it. This one here, I believe it's just stuck with one font, and it you can have multiple speeds, but other direction. That's an important one when you mount this thing. Make sure you get it the right way. If you use double-sided tape, you're not taking it out again once you've mounted it. It comes with fairly strong tape. Play messages from the memory keys, banner, message, or library phrase in order required. Once you play the message, then press play to play the sequence once, or play to repeat it. So if I press M0, your lights aren't on or aren't working, and then I press M1, and then I press play, it will now repeat that message. So you can actually play multiple messages. This is more along the lines if you were using this in a business. You could play your banner messages plus your 10 additional messages. So you can have 11 messages total. You can also adjust the brightness. Press the light followed by the up, or press the light followed by the down. So if I press light, down, it will dim the display. If I want to brighten it up, I press light followed by the up. You have to do it once each till you get to the maximum brightness. Mirror gives you a mirror image. So if you had this in your front window and you wanted to display a message to the person ahead of you, you could do a mirror image of it, and they'd read it in their mirror. And there's a speed, and it's just got a speed button, so it's pretty straightforward. Speed plus up or speed plus down to slow it down. That seems to be the slowest speed there. Speed up. Yeah, I think that one's a little bit fast. typically someone's going to have it running at the slowest speed anyway, just to give people a chance to read it. And that is pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Does the job. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again real soon. Link to where I got this is in the description.